Sweet. We're live. All right, let's do it. What's up, everybody? This is Ian Lenhart coming at you live from San Francisco, California, with one of my homies, one of my new good friends, new to America. Just recently came from the program, Mr. Gonçalo Fortes. How you doing, homie?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome,
hey,
awesome.
Everybody.
Just so you guys know, out of everyone I've been able to meet since coming out here, this guy is one of the most genuine, fun people. I just think we've had a ball. Like the second we connected, it must have been over a couple beers or something. It was instant homies, and I've just learned a ton from him. And he's had such a interesting entrepreneurial venture. I mean, you've had ups and downs. You got into business right out of college, like when you were 24 years old, which is super cool because a lot of people are super scared to do that. And you're really kind of taking life and making this happen. So again, thanks for jumping on. What first kind of got you? Let's kind of start off when you were just out of college. You're 20. You were 24 years old. You've never worked a real job in your life.
I never had a job.
Never.
I've created my first company straight out of college. It was a software house, pure service-based company, and yeah, that was my first job.
Really, that's awesome. So like, what happened when you got out of? Because you started a company called Crazy Dog. What was like the story behind that?
Well, two kids with our backpacks and our laptops and our backpacks, and we wanted to be hackers. So we decided to.
Did you have a hacking background? Did you go to school for that?
Yeah,
or?
we've studied computer science.
Yeah. Were these like your best friends?
It was one of my best friends from college, and we always thought that we would do something like this. So it was the moment where we either go and try and find a job in a consultancy or whatever, or let's make this happen, let's be hackers.
Sick.
Yeah. Didn't really happen that way, but we'll get there.
That's awesome. So you just decided, you came up with this idea. How did the idea come up for Crazy Dog?
Well, the name doesn't really, it's not really, there is no really a backstory. It was just a fast way of finding a name that could be approved because we really want to get started. The whole concept was because we really liked cybersecurity, and that's what we wanted to do. But very quickly we realized that people wouldn't buy from two kids. So we started building custom software.
Sick. All right, very cool. What type of software did you sell?
Whatever we were hired for. Pure software house. If you needed a software to broadcast your amazing Len Jones live interviews, we would do it for you. We probably did something related to.
So were you kind of more of like a CTO role for that, or kind of?
We were both engineers, so we were both developers, and yeah.
That's awesome. Do you think that you had sales skills like inherently, or did you have to like learn that, or is that something like were you more of a computer and couldn't really talk to people?
I usually say that I'm an engineer by background and by heart, but I'm much better with people than I am with computers. So that's why right now at Prodsmart I'm a salesman, and I'm the guy who keeps the culture and the vision. I usually say that I have 3 jobs in the company.
That's awesome.
Keeping the culture and the vision, keeping the company from running out of money, eliminating distractions. I'm sure this one is the hardest one of them all.
Wow. All right. First of all, those are 3 major keys. Drop a key right there if you agree with that, because that's
Drop the startup mic.
Drop the mic. And then, so that transition, you're running your own business. Was there ever like some serious stressful times at 24 running this thing? Like, how were you instantly profitable, or were you like just,
no.
like, how are you kind of living at 24 as a startup, like doing that thing?
Well, services, you always get to revenue much faster. So we were actually doing IT consultancy and custom development. So we were able to get our first projects and get to revenue very fast. But then there was a plateau, and we spent a couple of years. We were comfortable, but we wanted more, and we were not really getting there. And suddenly there was this startup hype, the startup boom in Lisbon, late 2011. And
Lisbon, Portugal.
Lisbon, Portugal. Yes, that's right.
Make that clear.
I completely recommend going there. Great food, great weather. By the way, this is not the California I was promised in the movies.
Yeah, San Francisco ain't what. It's not. I'm from San Diego for the last 6 months, so it's a whole different thing.
And there was an event called Silicon Valley Comes to Lisbon. Silicon Valley was going everywhere at the time. And we learned about this concept called the startup. Product-based strategy instead of a service-based strategy, economies of scale. And we started thinking, okay, we should change this. It took us more than a year, but eventually we decided, let's stop doing this service-based approach. Let's stop building software for others,
Gotcha.
And let's create our own product.
So that's kind of what transitioned into Prodsmart.
Yep.
So it's the same. Were you trying to solve the same problem?
Well, yeah. The original idea.
Yeah.
The product, of course, evolved and changed a lot from
Makes sense.
our origins, but the pain point and the market, they are still the same.
And what was that pain point?
Well, paperless manufacturing. That's we want to remove the paperwork from manufacturing production lines and job shops.
Gotcha.
It's a real pain which costs a lot of money, and people really feel it. It's a concept. It's not just two words mixed together.
That makes sense. So Prodsmart. Yep. That's how you came up with that. You're like, brilliant. I made it.
We're working on that.
That's awesome. And then from Prodsmart, so you started this team. Did you take some of the people that were with you in the beginning to build a new team? Like, what's been your experience with team building throughout that? Did you learn a lot, especially in your first company, with how to hire, what to look for, and just the things like that?
Well, we were still a small company, so we didn't bring a lot of people. Actually, fun fact. At the moment, there were three of us, and Sam kept going with me at Prodsmart, but our other co-founder at the time, he actually went to go and pursue his dream of working in cybersecurity.
Sweet.
But we kept me and Samuel, we kept going, and Pedro, which was a friend, a customer, and a business partner on other ventures and projects that we did at Crazy Dog.
For sure.
He joined us, and that's how it all began. Now we're a team of 7, so the team building and the hiring skills, they're coming.
They're coming. Yeah, it's a trial and error.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's cool that your co-founders in that company went a different path, but you guys stayed in touch and you went off and did your own thing.
Really good friends, and every now and then we have lunch and share some ideas.
So how's Portugal different than the U.S.?
Very different.
First of all, and I've also heard like drugs are legalized there, right? Let's just make that clear.
Portugal, I believe, was one of the first countries liberalizing. I'm not sure if this is the right word. How do you say it? Soft drugs. And actually, if you look at the charts, it was a really
huge success.
Yeah.
At first, it faced huge scrutiny, and then they realized, like, dang, they have such small amount of users.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure there are more differences there.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. It's funny because we are more laid back. In here, people follow the rules very, very strictly. So there's pros and cons in both things.
Yeah, for
by
sure.
the way, Portuguese people, when you have in the end, in the beginning of the next word, it's really hard for us.
Yeah, I mean, your English is phenomenal. That's awesome. But what if a question that I always like to ask is kind of like throughout like the time you've been doing Prodsmart, because you recently got into 500 startups.
Yep.
So he's part of the current batch of 500 startups, which is
500 strong.
500 strong. Yeah. And which is huge. You know, it's an awesome opportunity. You're able to network. I personally, I think an amazing part about being in San Francisco, though, like I gave up all the sunshine and the rollerblading every single day, like amazingness, is just the networking. Like the people that are here and just like the amount of just big players. I mean, literally a lot of your customers are down the road, you know, around here, which is sick versus always having to plan conference calls 24/7. So there's pros and cons. It's also the most expensive place in the world. Okay.
Yeah. Crazy rent.
Yeah, that gets to you. What has kind of been like your biggest challenge with Prodsmart that kind of like has there ever been a time where you literally like just were hands over your head. You just like, this is too much. Like, I think I don't know if this is the right play. Maybe I can't do this. Like, almost wanted to throw in the towel because of a certain issue.
Well, throwing the towel, never. But of course, if you're not feeling like that, you're probably not doing the right things. I don't know. This is so overwhelming. A lot of things. You always got to be juggling everything, trying to bring the right people and the right talent to help you, so that you can focus on the next thing.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, this is always a struggle. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't know how to live any other way, but it's always a struggle. There's that famous article by Ben Horowitz called The Struggle, and I believe it describes very well what a startup founder feels. But you gotta wake up every morning, ego recharged, be prepared for rejection, because
don't take things personal.
Yeah, and most of 90% of the times, works every time. 90% of the times you will be rejected, but as soon as you are used to that, you go to bed, wake up the next day, and ready.
And it becomes just like habitual.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, the one thing that you're really good at, and you always preach on, is the vision. And you need to have the biggest vision, being a founder of a startup.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly locked in on that vision.
Yeah. You gotta look far away, but
are you easily able to find out, like, if someone, like, say on your team isn't aligned with your vision, you need to make sure everyone's on the same, like, there's a phrase my dad always tells me, it's like some Viking phrase, like, everyone's got to take a row on the boat, because there's a lot of work that goes in, you know? It's Labor Day, let's talk about that. It's Labor Day, and you've been working 24/7. I was speaking to someone over there, he's like, there's no Labor Day in a startup? Like, what do you mean? Like,
the internet doesn't have holidays.
Yeah, that's insane, yeah. But, it's just really interesting kind of how that vision is important. Do you think that's, like, critical, would you say, to any business?
Yeah, I guess so. And I think it all begins with the recruitment process. You gotta hire for culture, and not only for skills. And if you do that, for sure, everybody will be aligned. Of course, and then you gotta find ways and mechanisms for everybody to know where we are going, what are the objectives, what are the results, reporting, everybody knowing what everybody is doing, motivation. We value culture a lot, and we actually try and always ask people every quarter, what are your motivations, your values, what changed from the past 3 months. And it's really funny because you actually see the people growing, and the future aspirations that they had are now the current values, and they have the new future aspirations. So if you take care of the people and the product and the profit in that order, you'll get a...
That's awesome. That was a major key.
It's not mine. I can.
Well, that was beautiful. That was poetic. Someone got a violin. Did that amazingly. So, question: how many customers do you currently have?
We're currently with 50 customers in 4 different countries.
That's amazing. So 50 different factories across.
Yeah.
Is there a big level of scaling with these customers?
Well, that's actually our job and our secret sauce, because we can actually pick up something that's highly traditional and typical, non-tech savvy, and help them transition to the digital world, doing it remotely.
Gotcha.
And it's hard, but
that makes sense. You're taking something that's been the same process for hundreds of years.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're trying to completely remote it.
Yeah, we actually have customers which are companies which are hundreds of years old, and we do have users which are 83 years old.
Damn.
Yes.
So they must love it. They must be blown away.
They do, yeah.
There must also be a lot of pushback, too, in that type of industry. Because it's such a big change that you guys are offering. You're helping. You're making everything so much more efficient, but, I mean, has there been a lot of companies that try to do what you've done?
Usually it's always a custom-made solution. Deployed on-premise, it costs hundreds of thousands of euros or even millions, and I'm trying to start speaking in dollars, but I always go to euros. It might take 12 months to be sold and 2 or 3 years to be deployed. This is the typical way of doing this.
For sure.
In our case, we can deploy the system in 90 minutes, and after a couple of hours, the customer starts getting results.
Do you think that custom solution aspect is really what separates you guys?
Yeah. In our case, we are a very flexible process engine. You can map your own processes there. You use smartphones. We love the concept of bring your own device a lot. You use smartphones to acquire the data from the machinery, the equipments, the workstations on the shop floor. We collect data in every possible way, every combination, and a production system is chaos. But it's
with all that data too, you're able to show exactly based on the case studies. Because was it hard when you first got your first few customers? Like, was your first few customers some of the hardest, would you say?
Yeah.
And then were you able to leverage them right away with case studies and such?
Not just that, but also they helped us to actually improve the product. For example, we were talking about the idea changing or pivoting. When we first started, we wanted to be a machine learning system, decision support system, real-time discovery, predictive and simulation system. And our fourth customer, he told us, Gonçalo, we don't care about the future because we cannot know the present yet. So we've downgraded the idea a lot and focused on the data acquisition. And on a simple smartphone, we can acquire data in any possible combination of a production process in the planet.
Brilliant. Oh yeah. Look at that smile. It's got the greatest smile and laugh. It's like amazing. Yeah, first of all, someone called you Graybeard, which is awesome.
Graybeard.
And someone asked again, what is the product? Your little elevator pitch. What's the product again?
We provide real-time process tracking for production lines and job shops. Manufacturing companies, they have you have a shoe factory. Someone is pressing soles, someone is nailing them, someone is gluing it. People are writing on a sheet of paper. There will be
super inefficient.
Oh yeah, and you will have thousands of registries that someone will maybe input in an Excel spreadsheet, and if that press is miscalibrated and it's throwing away your product, it's going to the garbage, going to trash.
Trash.
Okay?
Well done.
You won't know, and you're losing money on raw materials and opportunity costs. But if you know it now, you go there, you turn that screw on, and you save a lot of money. We can save our customers 75 to 80% in scrap and increase their efficiency around 20%.
Margarita, I think it's Margarita. You're French? Is that Prodsmart rocks?
She's actually our badass sales developer.
It makes me want to drink. It makes me want to drink margaritas now. But
welcome, Margarita.
Are you able to go in and measure exactly what that company's currently doing? Because that seems like the best pitch for you, right? Like you can walk in and be like, look, we're going to go and do a free consultation, show you what we could maximize, and then you just show them apples to apples. And if you can get them on that demo, is there a pretty high conversion?
That's exactly what we do. We show them the process as is and the process to be, and they understand that the to be is completely digitized. And then they start adding complexity and bringing the new layers of information that they couldn't have before. But the first step is to, okay, this is what you are now, this is what you are, if you digitize everything.
Nice.
And then
you just lay it out beautifully. What kind of drove growth when you hit that fourth customer? Like, you went from 4 to 50 in how quick?
We had 4 in March last year, so in a little above 12 months we went from 4 to almost 50.
Dang. So you've been like,
That's
awesome. Wow. That's beautiful. That's exactly what it is. What do you think was like the biggest?
That's what's supposed to be.
But what do you think was the biggest differentiating? I know that's how you got in the program. That's why you guys are killing it. But what do you think was the biggest differentiating factor that you wish you knew a year and a half ago?
Okay.
That would have helped drive that you kind of like.
First thing, and for sure, our amazing team. We got to those 4 customers with 2 people, me and Samuel, my co-founder, and then that's when we got our first round of funding. We assembled the team, and we got all our processes in place, really started selling. The other thing, and very, very important, I believe we learned how to say no very often.
Oh.
That was critical for us to start growing.
Like picking the right customers too?
Probably that, yeah.
No to...
Or maybe it's just a matter of focus. I said before, eliminating distractions, so...
Because, yeah, you do
Focusing.
custom solutions, and the hardest part of that is wanting to do so much different things. And since
Yep.
you're an engineer,
Yep.
like, you're probably just, it's like your world's your playground, and you want to build so much different stuff for so much different people, but
Yep.
trying to stay focused on, like, small runway, being a startup, like, that's everything.
Yeah.
So much companies die that way.
Yeah.
And I've been learning a lot about that. That's super gnarly.
But you're feeling it every day too, so...
Totally, yeah. I mean, that's the startup game, and that's the excitement, and it's just the whole entrepreneurial roller coaster. What does that phrase mean to you? The entrepreneurial roller coaster.
Well, I believe we addressed that before. It's the going to bed every night and recharging the ego for the next day. But we're all a bunch of egomaniacs.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have this life.
What's kind of like, and we'll kind of wrap this up shortly. What is your vision, if you would? Like, because a lot of company, like, you know, VCs and founders will always ask you, where are you going to be in 3 to 5 years? And you're sitting there like, shit, I'm trying to figure out tomorrow. Like, chill. Like, what would you kind of say, like, would be your company's 3 to 5 year vision?
Okay, let's go with 2 years, 5 years, and 20 years.
Okay, all right.
We spoke about the interconnected factory, where the machines, the processes, and the people are connected inside the plant. But our short-term vision is to actually create entire manufacturing ecosystems to break the barrier of the individual plant and connect every plant along the way, providing them a way to work together seamlessly. Then turn that into a marketplace of manufacturing capacity. You, the end user, you order your custom shoes, and we immediately source the entire process, negotiating capacity with all the suppliers.
Beautiful.
But a 20 years vision to become the operating system for smart materials that know how to build themselves.
Sick. Beautiful.
Thanks.
That's lovely. Everything he says is better out of just because of the friendliness. Other than that laugh, I just can't get enough. Lastly, advice to someone that is just starting their own business, that's just getting in. What do you say? What do you say to someone that's about to take the plunge, that's maybe works a 9 to 5 job, and from 6 to 9 they want to start their own business, or they want to get started on their dreams? What would you say?
Advice is always tricky, especially because I'm also always banging my head against the wall every day and learning. I would say do things that don't scale. Focus on something that you personally can do, something that you like.
So you say do things that don't scale.
Don't scale.
Scale. Oh, scale.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you said scale. Okay.
Do something that you're passionate about. Do it yourself. Learn what people will want from you, and have fun along the way. That's
have
very
fun
important.
along the way. That is so true. I mean, if you're not having fun and enjoying what you're doing every day, then people say, like, do something you love every single day, and that pisses a lot of people off, that phrase, because they're like, how, like, work is work, you know what I mean? And then crazy entrepreneurs, or whatever they call themselves, consider what they do, they love to do. And then people that don't love what they do look at those people like they're crazy. But every single person has something that they love to do. Everyone, you know, whether it's walking dogs, or, you know, whether it's, you know, being a lifeguard, or I don't know, some sort of business. Rubbing your beard, yeah, combing your beard, doing whatever, roller skating. The fact is you have to find something that you enjoy doing, and nowadays you can do it so easily with social media. Nowadays you can stream anywhere, you can build a business, you can build a group of people that enjoy the same stuff you do. If you want to start a beard company, like, you can start a beard company like tomorrow, like literally tomorrow, today. You could create your own brand.
I'm going to be a customer.
You could get some products out. You could do whatever it is. It's just all like having that vision, taking the leap, and having fun. So, honestly, man, thank you so much for jumping on with me.
Thanks for inviting me.
I appreciate you. You're phenomenal. You're a great human. And we're definitely going to have a good time this weekend. This is one fun thing to go out with. So with that said, guys,
guy right here.
I appreciate everyone. Thanks for jumping on. We got more fun stuff tomorrow. If you like this, share the video. Always appreciate it. And drop some Waka Flocka flames if you guys are listening right now. With that said, love y'all.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Peace.